Welcome back, folks, to Pigs TV. I'm your host, Pigs, as usual. So last year, I sort of started a new series on bar, sort of how to play it and other sort of things. And obviously, things have moved on since then. But obviously, I understand the game a lot more. So some of the things in I think it was called the Ice Cream Edition, don't really mean sort of anything more with the game being changing. So what I thought was we'd go through some different ideas, especially at the start, where I think the start is the most important thing on bar, because if you get that wrong, it will affect your game. So I'm just playing against a simple AI. This is the same sort of map that you would do if you were playing the scenario, so that's why I picked it, because it would be the same one you start with. They're up in the top end, but we're not playing against them. Man, they're an inactive AI, so we don't need to worry about it. So that's why I'm not rushing and doing stuff. So, as you can see here, we've got 3 metal. Usually I have 3 metal metal around, but not necessarily. And we can select our commander and right click and move around. That's easy. So this map is different to some of the other maps. So there will be a sort of a same video, but in a two-parter, if you like. And it's important to go through wind and solar. And they play differently, and on the maps, they're differently as well. So in some maps, you could do both. Some maps, you can only do one or the other. So that's why it's important to go through it. And obviously, if you disagree with this and you've been playing back for a year, that's fine. Post a comment and let's have a discussion. Let's start a discussion. Send me an email about it with images or whatever. Like I said, if you want to go to pigstv.com, there's a load of schedules and things like that with new videos with bar and all sorts. So it's free, so go and have a look at that. Anyway, so like I said, so we need to sort of pick where we want to be to actually be able to get these extractors. You could do it a different way. You could do wind first. Now we're going on wind. We're not interested in solar. This will be the next video. So what we also need to do is don't worry about any of the other stuff. Just worry about this one at the time. That's tidal. Don't worry about that. Again, we might look at a video that is tidal as well. So as you can see, wind goes up and down, depending how it is. If it's around, let's say, the 7 mark, it's better to do wind. But then again, if it goes too low, you may want a solar. Now, that's an option if you've got solar, but if you haven't got solar and you've only got, you haven't got it on the map that's not selectable, then you have to have a different strategy. So, you've got 2 choices. We can either, as you can see here, you don't have to go exactly on the metal extraction itself. You can go just slightly off, as you can see with this line. I think in earlier versions this wasn't there like that. So as you can see, the reason why you want to get as close to your green circle as you can is then the commander doesn't actually have to move. So if we can get away with it like there, he just turns. He doesn't have to move. We don't at the start. You don't want him to move as much as he can do, because obviously that's time consuming. Especially if you're playing, it's not too bad if you're playing, with other players. But obviously, if you're playing against a player and it's a duel or something like that, you don't want to move. So now we've just done our extractors. So now we need to concentrate on the wind. Now, again, you don't want to be placing them over here or whatever. You want to be placing them close, but you've also got to decide where your other structures want to be. So what I tend to do is I'll build them maybe like this, depending on where I start on the map and what these look like. Sometimes you don't get 3. Sometimes you can't place the commander between the 2. So you have to make a choice where you want to be. So now we built our 3, now it's turning. So now they're obviously generating energy. So then, what do we decide to do? We could do 2 different things. We could store some. Not a great idea, because you want obviously, if you're playing against somebody, you're now thinking, well, what do we want to do? Most of the time, You may start with bots, you may start with vehicles. Now this will all also depend on the terrain. Here, it's probably better. Well, it's about even Steven, what I would say. You could go for vehicles, you could go for bots, but it's your choice. So let's just go for a bot lab. If it's not in the right orientation where that arrow is, you can press the bracket keys on your keyboard. I don't particularly like them there, especially because I'm right-handed. It would be nicer to be over where the other side of the keyboard, but you can change them, but obviously I leave them as you would leave them. So what we can start doing now, again, you want it closer to where you're walking, but you may not have the room. So I'm just pressing that and allowing it to build. But as you can see, it'll start to go down. Well, the wheel's quite high. Now, if it's not high, we're not looking at solar, we're only looking at wind. If it's not high, if you hold down the space bar and you start going somewhere else to build another wind, what your command will do is it'll start building that and then turn back around instantly. If you don't do that, say I'd moved myself over for an example, and I started, let's say, I'll build a vehicle. Not normally the way you would do this, so don't follow this, but I'm just doing it as an example. So I'll start building that. If I start going over there without pressing the space bar, and I build this wind turbine, for an example, you'll now see him not move back. He doesn't start going back to what he was originally doing. So if we now do that again, and we hold the space, and we do that, then we get him to go back, and he should instantly go back again and start doing what it was there. That, for me, was one of the game changers that I found out from the guys that I used to play with. It was like, oh my god, I wish I'd have known that. You know, it's a simple thing, but it's important. So let me just get rid of that. Not something that you normally do. I just degunned it, but that doesn't matter. So then you want to obviously be able to, but you're still, as we're playing against an AI, basically a passive AI, he's not going to do anything. We want to start, start where you want your bots to go, and you normally start with a constructor. You don't have to. You may want to start, if you're playing, start getting some ticks out. But it's always nice to also have your commander help out as well. So right click on the bot lab and start again. As you can see now, he's building them faster. If we didn't do that and we moved him back, look how slow that is. So it's another thing to help yourself out. In the start, don't try and worry about what you're actually, get used to it. The scenarios will help. Some of them are better than others, for obvious reasons. So if we build a constructor, sometimes people will build one, some will build two straight away. But I'll just show you up to that. This is just a start. As you can see here, I selected them units and basically right and dragged, and they'll all follow that path. But that's for another time. I just got a bit over there. So now, instead of, you don't have to select the extractor here to do it. You can actually right click on that and you'll go and do that sort of thing. You could actually go like right click, hold the shift key and do all that. So that's just a basic start. It will help you out of how to start to play the game and obviously build on top of that, especially using the thing like I said, like I said before, where you start to build that and you hold the space bar down and then you click on the unit. Because I've got a lot of energy, because I'm not really doing anything, it's not draining this down. Because what you don't want to do is start building that, then walking around, oh, better build a bit more energy, oh, I've done that sort of thing, oh, now I need to go back and do, you want to stay as close to you can and not move around. You will have to eventually, when you walk out or do other things, but that's the basic concept of just a start. It's such an important thing, and even I don't always get it right either. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and here comes the next part. Bye for now. Welcome back, folks. So in this one, the reason why I've chosen faster and light map is because it doesn't have any wind. So what I was showing you was the difference between wind and solar. Most people, like I said before, like the wind and use wind, but it's not always possible depending on what map it is. And when you start, you get so used to having both options, you get confused to say, well, what's the better option and what do I do and how do I use solar, because solar is slightly different. So if we do what we would normally do, you don't have to do it this way, but as you can see here, I am right close to all three metal, and I've put myself very close to it, so hopefully I don't have to move. Oh well, he did do his moving, even though he's in the actual circle. He shouldn't really need to do that. He should have just turned. For some reason, sometimes some of the maps don't always do what you want them to do. So we're just now building. Again, you can do this slightly different. You could just do one or two, or do this second. It's how you feel you want to do it. Again, we've got a passive area. He's not going to come and get me. So again, use the brackets to rotate. The square brackets to rotate the. I'm using a bot lab again, but you could be doing a vehicle or whatever. Vehicles and bots are okay on this one because they can get around. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to use and which one you feel adequate or capable or enjoy or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see now, this is a prime example. I'm going to start running out. So I want solar. I've done it this way. Normally you wouldn't do it this way. So if I hold the space bar and start building solar, it'll swap from that, build the solar. Because it doesn't cost energy, it costs more metal on this. Then it goes back again. So this is your space bar move. On the first video, it was very difficult to sort of show, but this is why I've done it. It's a lot easier on this one. So again, we turn back and we, to build another solar. Normally you would probably build at least one on this map, maybe one or two, then maybe the metal, then maybe the bot lab or the vehicle or whatever. And sometimes some people don't even build it here. They'll walk down here and do this one. It depends on what you feel is adequate for your needs and what you want to do. But you want to keep them close enough. And then obviously I had the spacebar, but it doesn't do anything if he's not actually actively doing anything else. So that's the way to sort of start between the two. Again, we could do a constructor first, and we could also, pump some stuff. But as you can see, look at the energy going down. So we want to try and keep that as up as far as we can. So let's try again. Let's turn. It'll still, obviously, it's still doing its thing. Let's build a few Centurions. They'll cost a lot of energy. If you don't send him anywhere, he will go and he'll help. But as you can see here, now we've got no energy, and she's telling me. So I don't move. I just hold the space bar down, and I can't start turning. You wouldn't normally build a Centurion straight away, as it's a bit too much of a heavy unit. But as you can see, I'm not moving. I'm just going for the solar. It's all you can do on this map. You can't do anything else. But obviously, by now, you should be down at the bottom and protecting yourself, doing other things, or start to send, let's say we cancel them and we do some ticks as well. Also, it's important, instead of just like randomly doing, let's say, I want 3 of them and 4 of them, whatever, you can always use the repeat command. That's another way that you can. And these will all stay, and they'll go through. The mace is coming in first because he's now built 2. Or we built 2. Then it'll go to a different unit. It's whichever I selected in the order, and it'll build 2 of them, and then it'll go that. But it won't get rid of that. What you can see there, you'll have to either turn it off or get rid of them, cancel them like this, and then it'll stop. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a little basic insight into how to start playing bar. I think a lot of the things don't take you through this start. The start is the most important thing, and if you get it wrong, then you can basically get the lot wrong. And I've done it hundreds of times, and I'll probably still do it. But hopefully, with this little tutorial, a little beginner's guide, you'll get the idea of it. And if you don't, if you're a long bar player and you disagree with it, send me an email, send me an image, send me some information, and we'll look at it, and then I'll do another video on that. Anyway, bye for now.